right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Our weather impact alert continues right through Sunday. A new severe thunderstorm watch just issued for parts of the area, including St. Louis, within the last hour or so. We're tracking the updated timing.
A vicious attack caught on camera.
If it wasn't for them coming out, I honestly feel me and my daughter would be dead.
A mother shares the terrifying story after she and her child are attacked by 2 dogs. A legacy living on. First responders honor one of their own on the ice.
Ben was the funniest, charismatic, amazing person to be around.
Years after a firefighter's death, see how one group is keeping his memory alive. Tonight we're in a weather impact alert. A stormy pattern is developing right now, bringing in waves of rain for the weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Rennie Knott in for Mike Bush. With this round of rain, flooding and severe storms are possible throughout the holiday weekend. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell right now. And Scott, what is the timing of the rain's arrival?
We're thinking in the metro area probably in about 2 hours or so. Right now, the nearest rain to us is to the north and to the west. There's a couple of sprinkles up towards Troy. That's where the front's sagging in. And then you go down here towards Rolla, west of Rolla near Dixon. We're looking at some showers and thunderstorms. The stronger storms have been coming out of Oklahoma into southwest Missouri. As they move towards Springfield, they've tended to weaken just a little bit, but this is why we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect, generally along 44 out of Oklahoma through the Ozarks into the St. Louis area. Those strong storms pushing into the Ozarks right now. Here's that watch area. It does include St. Louis County, back into St. Charles County, Warren County, and then we go south along the Mississippi River, down 44, down 55. This will be until 3 a.m. Odds are we won't see widespread severe weather, but watch as this moves into motion. These scattered showers and thunderstorms, they start to become more numerous. They start to fill in. That's what we will see as we head towards 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't be surprised if you hear a good deal of thunder during the overnight and early morning hours. Heavy rain will be a bigger threat, perhaps, than severe weather, but some of those storms may have some hail and some gusty winds, especially south of St. Louis until about 3 o'clock. Strong storms, hail, wind threat, it's there, keeping our devices charged all weekend long because this is just the first wave of several. More on that and how much rain we end up with before it's all said and done in a few minutes already.
All right, Scott, brace for it. Remember, you can always get the latest updates on the weather impact forecast on the 5+ streaming app. Just search KSDK in your app store. You can also get updates sent straight to your phone by texting weather to 314-425-5355.
And right now, a part of Cass Avenue is shut down after a giant sinkhole opened up in the street. Police closed the area of Cass and 17th Street near Murphy Park in North City just hours ago. The mayor's office says it appears to be a sewer-related issue. The Metropolitan Sewer District says it's too early to tell, but are sending crews to investigate. No word yet on when the street will reopen.
Tonight, a St. Louis County mom and her daughter are recovering after being attacked by dogs right outside of their home, and it was all caught on camera. Now, this happened last week in unincorporated North County.
Yes, and the attack sent both the mother and her child to the hospital. She tells 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend she is counting her blessings this Good Friday. We do want to warn you, this video is disturbing.
For Markeisha Eberhardt and her 4-year-old daughter, Marissa, it was the scare of their lives.
It's very traumatic. Very terrifying.
Eberhardt says last Thursday afternoon she went outside to pick up her toppled trash can when her child suddenly screamed.
When she hollered dog, I bent down and picked her up. I was, trying to stand still, let them smell me, run away.
But that didn't happen. Her Ring doorbell camera caught on video 2 dogs attacking her and her little girl.
Everything happened so fast.
She says when she fell, a brown female pit bull and a white male kept biting her and her preschooler.
When we fell on the ground, I kept more so trying to tuck her under me.
A neighbor ran over and grabbed the white dog while his wife grabbed a scooter to try to scare off the other dog.
She had my baby by the arms and she was swinging her around, and the dog just kept jumping up trying to bite her.
She and her daughter suffered bite marks before one of the dogs finally ran off. Her neighbor fatally shot the other animal.
I know I have 9 stitches in this foot, my leg, This leg.
Humane Society officials want to remind all dog owners to remember by law you are required to have your pet on a leash when it's out in public and keep it secured in your yard. This grateful mom can't stop thanking her neighbors who ran to their rescue.
Because when I say I screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed, and they were the only two that came out and helped. So, yeah, dog owners need to be more responsible.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
The neighbor who grabbed one of those dogs was also injured. Erica Hart and her daughter are now undergoing a series of rabies shots as a precaution. St. Louis County Animal Control seized the other dog.
Tonight, we are learning a 2-year-old girl trapped in a burn home has died. The fire started on Pinedale Drive in St. Charles. The girl's mother and another child escaped, but the 2-year-old had to be rescued by firefighters and suffered serious injuries. She passed away yesterday. A GoFundMe is now accepting donations to support the family.
Hours ago, the Missouri State Highway Patrol identified a body as a man who went missing more than 2 years ago. Aaron Dinke was last seen floating away on a piece of ice back in 2022 near Washington, Missouri. His remains were found along the Missouri River in Chesterfield back on Sunday. The St. Louis County Medical Examiner confirmed it was him earlier today. Right now, the cause of his death remains unknown.
Tonight, the community is remembering firefighter Ben Polson, who lost his life in the line of duty more than 3 years ago. His tragic death sparked a firefighting safety procedure in St. Louis, still used by first responders today. Now, before becoming a firefighter, Polson was an avid hockey player, and tonight, the group Backstoppers honored him with a memorial hockey game. New tonight, our Annie Krall was at that game, talking to the first responders about the impact that Polson still has on the community today. Annie?
Rennie and Kelly, firefighter Polson was killed in January of 2022 while responding to a call in North St. Louis. His uniformed brothers and sisters told me just a few hours ago, not having him around still isn't easy, but he's hardly been forgotten.
The fire started in a vacant building in the 5900 block of Cote Brilliant Avenue. The St. Louis Fire Department hearing reports there were people inside.
I actually got off that morning. I would have been at that fire. That was my district. So when we heard that morning, we were actually already on our way in to the firehouse to relieve the guys who were actually at the scene.
Fire crews were able to knock down fire on the first floor, but making their way to the second, decided to try and back out, which is when the roof collapsed on the 2 firefighters. Ben Polson took the brunt of it.
For the St. Louis Fire Department, it's always a 2 in, 2 out rule. We never leave a man. We're always there, regardless of the good, the bad.
After Polson's death, the fire department started using a database to provide firefighters with information about the structure and condition of vacant buildings. Just one part of Polson's legacy, along with this memorial game.
Friends with a lot of these policemen and firemen are friends before and after the game. We're going to set it aside for a few hours. I think you're going to see a pretty intense matchup.
Attended by hundreds, it allows firefighters to face off, but also be supported by the police department at Afton Ice Rink. All proceeds from Friday's game goes to Backstoppers, providing financial and emotional support to the families of fallen heroes.
They're a real lifeline for us. It's a security blanket. It's something for us and our families to know that if the worst happens, they're going to be there.
Polson's dad was a captain with the St. Louis Fire Department before he retired. His family still coming every year to this crucial game.
We go to work every day not knowing if we're going to go home the next day.
And if you'd like to donate to Backstoppers and help first responder families, you can donate online or via Venmo at links we have posted in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com.
Here's a live look at Missouri State Capitol, where the battle over state abortion rights is heating up. Members of the Missouri House of Representatives passed a proposed constitutional amendment that would ban most abortions. This comes months after Missouri voters passed Amendment 3, striking down the state's abortion ban. Democrats say this is an insult to voters, while Republicans say they're trying to build a better option for voters.
We're not overturning this. Our vote yesterday did not do anything other than say we're going to put this back on the ballot with maybe a better bill or a better option and let the people vote on it.
I think that they all just spit in the face of their voters. That's what I think. I think it's an incredible insult to go back to your district this afternoon and try to look your constituents in the eye after taking a vote that undid what they went to the ballot box to vote for just 5 months ago.
If approved by the Senate, voters could see an amendment to reverse the law on ballots this year.
Developing tonight, that massive measles outbreak has now reached the state of Missouri. Health Department officials say a child visiting Taney County in southwest Missouri has the highly contagious disease. Now, this is the first measles case in Missouri in 2025. However, more than 800 cases have popped up across 25 states. Symptoms include a rash, fever, cough, and red, watery eyes. Well, today, kids got the chance to get out and play in Melville High School's Special Olympics track and field event.
Yeah, students take the lead, organizing the entire competition that gives special education students from across the region a chance to shine. 5 on Your Side's photojournalist Doug Howell takes us right into the heart of the action.
I just love this event because watching all of the athletes get to do something that normally they're not able to do at like a normal school event, it's just really refreshing to see. It's really great to see them being involved in something that we can help them with and we can kind of celebrate them. Special Olympics is my favorite day of the whole school year. I always look forward to it. It's refreshing to see people that normally you see at school and you hang out with kind of branching out and volunteering their time out of school to help our athletes and those in need. And we always say it's not about us. Today is about the athletes. We want to celebrate them and we want to make sure that they're enjoying the day. We've been doing the track and field event for Special Olympics for 25 years now. I think the sprinting event is just great to watch. The look on their faces as they're running to the finish line is just, it's honestly so great.
This is the best day ever! A hero honored and a son remembered. The parents of a teenage firefighter killed in the line of duty tell his story.
This is a nightmare we haven't woke up from.
He left such a beautiful mark on the world.
Their mission to keep his legacy alive.
The weather impact alert continues for the entire weekend. Now, it's not a total washout, but many of us are going to see more than a couple of inches of rain. Some of us may see severe weather, even overnight tonight. We're tracking in just 6 minutes.
For the first time tonight, we are hearing from the parents of 16-year-old Chevy Gall.
The volunteer firefighter from Franklin County died while responding to a call during flash flooding 2 weeks ago today. In an interview that you'll only see on 5 on Your Side, Chevy's parents sat down with our Megan Kernan to talk about how they plan to carry on their son's legacy.
When your spouse dies, you're a widow. When your parents die, you're an orphan. And there's no words when your child dies.
An unimaginable loss for Sarah and Rocky Gall, losing their 16-year-old son, Chevy Gall, a volunteer firefighter for the Beaufort-Leslie Fire Protection District, who lived to serve his community.
At 16 years old, the legacy that he was able to build just in that short time was amazing.
Chevy was known for his big heart, his leadership, and his unwavering commitment to others.
To me, my boy stood in front of me. I had no idea the man that I had.
You just kind of get that opportunity to kind of see it all in front of you at one time and realize how amazing he really was. And I think a lot of that helps us through this to know that he left such a beautiful mark on the world.
And we're so proud. Proud is not even, it doesn't even touch it. I don't have words for that. Proud is the only thing we can come up with. And I hope he knows. I hope he knows.
As a young boy, Chevy's dream was to become a first responder to simply help others. He spent his last 6 months of his life accomplishing that goal.
He died doing what he loved. Part of my mama's heart's okay with that.
In October 2024, Chevy's best friend, 16-year-old Isaac Lashley, who was also a volunteer firefighter, died in a car accident.
After Chevy's passing, we went through his phone to get some music off of it for his services, and there's a note in there. He had been writing a note because he wants to bring driver's ed to Franklin County. The closest driver's ed is in St. Louis, and he believes Isaac's accident was due to inexperience, and he wanted to make sure that no family went through this again.
So we were going to work on starting an organization to bring, obviously we were going to start small and try to do Franklin County, and the hope was to grow it and get it to all rural communities.
This is a nightmare we haven't woke up from, and if we can save someone else's family from going through this, then Chevy's done his job well.
Right after our interview, His truck was called out.
He would be on there right now.
A sign from Chevy to his parents.
Well, we want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Scott Conlon with the weather impact forecast. We're already under a severe thunderstorm watch.
Yeah, we've got the severe thunderstorm watch in effect for St. Louis City, St. Louis County, back along 70, out through St. Charles, Wentzville to Warrenton, down 55 from Arnold all the way down through St. Genevieve, and then you go down 44 and it stretches all the way back towards Tulsa. So here's our threats, just kind of laying it out there. There's nothing imminent in the next hour or so. But beyond that, our waves of rain and thunderstorms will be picking up, and they'll keep coming at us through Sunday evening. The strong storm chance, that's going to last into the overnight hours until around 3 o'clock or so. Think hail's the main threat this evening, and then Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock, we may be looking at some strong storms then too, especially if we heat up Sunday afternoon. That severe threat looks like it could be more widespread and also more substantial compared with tonight. Rain, though, heavy at times going through the weekend. That means creeks and streams are going to come up very quickly. It also means we may be dealing with some flooding problems. So keep those devices charged up. Make some adjustments to your plans as needed when you're checking the radar on the 5+ app and on KSDK.com. Turn around, don't drown if there's water covering the road. All right, we want to keep everybody safe this weekend. Don't drive into those flooded roads. Here it is, the development going on down to our southwest. Showers and storms coming out of Oklahoma into Kansas, now spreading into southwest Missouri. As they come in towards the Springfield area, they're running right into this front, and this is where we think with front north and west of St. Louis that we'll continue to see the development. Notice that cell, though, that went north of Fort Leonard Wood, north of Waynesville, that fizzled out as it's gone up towards the Vichy area. Our anticipation is that this area is prime now to the southwest of St. Louis, and it should spread over the region with waves of showers and thunderstorms. Locally, heavy rainfall will be commonplace overnight, and yes, you will hear thunder, but in most cases, a severe weather threat might be a brief wind gust, more likely a bit of hail. As we head into tomorrow, through the day, rain keeps coming at us, and it keeps adding up. Some of us will end up with a couple of inches of rain by tomorrow night, and we'll keep adding on to that during the overnight hours tomorrow night into early on Easter Sunday morning. For tomorrow into tomorrow night, early on Sunday morning, it's more about rain than it is severe weather. Your total by Monday morning, most of us are getting 2 to 4 inches. Some of us will see perhaps 4 to 5. That's enough to cause some problems on the area's smaller rivers, certainly the creeks and the streams. Early Easter Sunday morning, the showers around in the morning, maybe some thunder. We watch that front lift to the north. That puts us back into the warm sector ahead of this storm system. So we get warmer. If we break out of the clouds and get sunshine, then Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, severe weather threat could be even higher. Okay, so Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, just know that. That is a greater severe weather threat than what we're looking at overnight tonight. For tomorrow into tomorrow night, it really is all about the rain in St. Louis, and it adds up. There's your weather impact alert running right through Sunday night. We will dry out some to start next week. Cool off a little bit on Monday, but the rest of the week looks like temperatures at or above average.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Sports is next.
Well, the Cardinals had some April 18th deja vu, but not in a good way, and the Blues and their big game goaltender are up in Canada to begin the playoffs. Sports is on deck after the break. Once upon a time, the Cardinals and Mets had one of the best rivalries in baseball. 38 years ago tonight, Tommy Herr authored one of the best moments in the rivalry with his walk-off grand slam on seat cushion night at Busch Stadium. Thankfully, it was not seat cushion night tonight in Queens for the latest chapter of Cardinals Mets. Miles Michaelis was on the hill for the Cardinals tonight at Citi Field. His offense gave him an early lead. This Jordan Walker hit put the Cards up 2-0 in the 4th inning. Michaelis was all right tonight, but did give up a pair of runs. Juan Soto gets an RBI to help earn that historic contract of his. We're tied at 2 in the 5th. Cards would take the lead back as Nolan Arenado pokes one to left. That drove in Wilson Contreras after a double of his own. 3-2 St. Louis. But back and forth we went. Mark Vientos goes deep for the second straight day. We are back tied at 3 in the 6th inning. Bottom 8 now. Phil Maton has practically been perfect so far this year. Not tonight, though. Mayton allows a Luis Torrens double. That plates the go-ahead run for the Mets. But the Cards are not done. Brendan Donovan extended his hit streak to 14 games tonight. Then he ties this game in the ninth with a blast to right. Man, Donnie has been incredible to start this year. However, that tie only lasted a few more minutes because Francisco Lindor took Ryan Fernandez deep to lead off the ninth inning and give the Mets a 5-4 walk-off victory. Happy playoff eve, St. Louis. The Blues and Jets will drop the puck on NHL's postseason tomorrow at 5 p.m. St. Louis time. And the two men between the pipes could be the two most important men on the ice this series. We just saw the Connor Hellebuck-Jordan Binnington matchup in the Four Nations tournament. Now we get to see it in the playoffs. Hellebuck has the regular season dominance. He led the league in wins and lowest goals against average this year. Binnington, of course, has the postseason edge. The more important the game, the better Binnington is. His coach explains why.
I think because mentally he has incredibly positive thoughts. His self-talk is incredibly positive. And he sees himself doing great things in big moments. And it's a mindset. And thank God he's our goaltender.
The Battlehawks play Arlington tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. in Texas. The team will be looking to get back to dominant rushing against Arlington. Over the team's first two games, they rushed for 437 yards. Last week, they rushed for just 45 yards. Coach expects a better performance in the trenches this week, both offense and defense.
So they had a good plan, but it's up to us to handle and manage it. And we have answers for those things. It's just that we didn't execute it properly, and everybody took a turn at the line position throughout the game. And everybody else, too, as well, as far as all the other positions. But you're right. Like, we lean heavy on our line and our defensive line, and that's how it's going to be for this season. So, you know, that's how the engine will go with this football team, and I expect them to bounce back this week.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC hosts Vancouver tomorrow night, looking for their first win since March 15th. There were positive signs in last week's loss to Columbus. Klaus got on the board for the first time this year, and he probably should have had a second goal as well. Coach does see his striker rounding into form.
The work rate and this link-up play, target play, these kind of things, which in the end I think helps him scoring, you know, so that as a striker you're not too obsessed with just scoring, you know, focus on these other things and the goals will come.
Tomorrow, Mizzou Gymnastics competes for a national championship. The Tigers will take on Oklahoma, Utah, and UCLA in the final from Fort Worth, Texas. Missouri already has an individual national champion on the roster. Helen Hu locked up the title on balance beam in the semifinals, and she sure is embracing the moment.
Everyone hit such a great routine. They really set me up to just go out and have as much fun as possible. And so this time I'd say I really didn't have a lot of stress going in. And I wasn't looking at the scores either, so I didn't know how close we were. And so I was just going, you know, this might be my last routine, so I'm going to go out and put my whole heart out on that routine and act like that might be my last chance. And so that's also why I jumped and did the worm afterwards. I was like, I'm just going to have as much fun as I can because this might be the last time I'm up on the stage.
If I
nailed that.
She did. If I timed this out right, you could sit down on the couch tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. and watch St. Louis sports all the way till about 10 o'clock at night. So, and if it rains,
11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
If it rains, I think there might be some people doing that. Worst way to spend a day.
Yeah, I have to let Mrs. Not know all about that then.
No.
Honey, I'll be on the couch. Thank you, Corey.
Coming up, a ride to remember how some Missourians are stepping back in time to celebrate America.
Right now, a blast from the past. People in Manchester, Missouri held a ceremony today to honor the 250th anniversary of Paul Revere's legendary Midnight Ride. The event included multiple readings, a ceremonial lantern lighting, and other historical tributes. Now, earlier tonight, the city of Boston held a reenactment of the ride. What is that? One if by land, two if by sea? Something
like
along
that.
those lines?
Yeah. Well, good thing they did it today because
tomorrow it's going to be
not a good day
damp.
for that.
And we have some thunderstorms starting to roll in across the region at this hour. They're still to our south and west, but expect this area to expand. There is a risk some of these storms may be strong to severe, so we'll be tracking that as we head through the evening hours.
And that is all the time we have for 5 on your side at 10. But remember, we're always streaming on 5+.
I'll be there as soon as we get done with this newscast. We have an expanded look at this weekend's weather and all the storminess that it brings.
And make sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 6 a.m. Tracy will have the very latest on the weather situation at 6. Have a great tomorrow.